I want to introduce another good friend. When we talk, we try to resolve the war. He's really passionate. He has a really big heart for our community. He's a fighter for us. His name is Pablo. He has a beautiful family. He's been 25 years here in the United States. He's from Guatemala, and I don't know why he loves pizza. And I'm sure he's gonna need more space here. So welcome, Pablo.
Years old when I began to write letters, I knew how to begin a letter. Yo sabía cómo comenzar una carta, but this one in particularly I felt stuck in because I couldn't figure out how to finish this letter. I know how to write the beginning, but the conclusion of this letter, I'm kind of stuck. I'm feeling unhappy, just sad and bummed out. Because really wrapping up this letter is saying goodbye, and I don't want that to happen. So I turn around and I look at my tía. Tía, ¿cómo es que voy a terminar esta carta? ¿Qué es lo que debo decir? No sé qué decir. No tengas pena, mi hijo, di esto. En un día muy lejano, vamos a estar juntos todos otra vez. Today I'm going to tell you a story about the time my mom and I wrote letters to one another and how I learned to conclude my letters to her. So I was 2 years old when my dad moved to the US. This is back in the 80s. There was a lot of rebel stuff going on in Guatemala. And I was 9 years old when he came to Guatemala to get mom, and so she would move with him. And so here I am. I was born in the capital city of Guatemala. I'm 9 years old. I'm transitioning to this small town, and I have no mom and I have no dad. So, but thankfully I had my brother, and we both kind of shared this experience of writing letters. It was just a habit that we had every 3 weeks, once a month. It's like we would write letters. So letters were really the most consistent way that our parents and I would be in contact. The phone lines, this is back in the early 90s, were really far away in this small town. You had to walk like 4 miles. And it was really expensive. So letters was the most genuine, heartfelt way that we could communicate with one another. And though I was kind of writing to both of my parents, there was something special about writing to my mom. There's just, when I recall this experience, all I can really recall is writing letters to my mom. And in many ways it made a lot of sense because she was special. I mean, the whole block knew my mom. If there's any sort of funness in me, smiliness in me, is really because of my mom. Because she was so fun, very playful, kids, teenagers, everyone loved her. She was just so much fun. And so writing letters to her was both painful, it was fun and painful, because I'm writing these letters to her and I would have memories that would come up to my mind. I'm learning how to write in a cursive way, because that's just the way Latin America works. You write cursive. So I'm writing, and I don't know if this happens to you, but when you write, you have memories that come up for you. Well, it was for me too. I would have memories coming up from my mom. Like the time that it was Christmas, and I really wanted that toy. And I still recall my mom juggling 2 kids, my brother and I, and she goes to her purse, her wallet, and she's grabbing the last bill, literally, just for our own joy, because she really wanted us to get this. Or the time that we're walking in the roads of Guatemala City in our neighborhood where, flooding is very common. So we would have these flooding spots. And it's a luxury to have a car over there, so we would have to walk to the bus stop. She would literally carry both of us. And sometimes she would have to come back and drop off one of our brothers because we were too heavy. So she was there, And so all these memories kept coming, like that time when I still recall having a nightmare, waking up crying, screaming, because I didn't have my dad. I didn't even know how to picture him, but I knew somehow in my sleep I had this dream, and I woke up crying, and there was Mom. So there's just so many memories, and I still recall the time that we were even robbed in the Capitol, in the bus. Her purse was stabbed, and I don't know how we didn't get stabbed ourselves, but they took her money. So many memories about my mom. So here I am, I'm stuck in this letter, and I don't know how to end it because I really want her physically. I want her arms. I want her voice. I want everything about her. I want it present right there. I'm just torn that she's not there with me, and I have to finish this letter. And the worst thing is that eventually I get this letter from Mom, and as I'm reading her letter, I see there's watermarks. The ink has dissolved. La inca se ha borrado. And I showed it to my aunt, and I'm like, I don't know what she's saying here. Something happened to the ink. And it became clear that she'd been crying while she was writing these letters to us. And time after time, letter after letter, there was always a watermark in her letters. And so really, these letters became the closest thing to having her with us. And I hated finishing them. But 2 years went by. It's evening, the door knocks, and I go up there, try to open the door. My aunt opens the door, and there's a surprise. 2 years. So we open the door, and I'm so surprised that here comes my dad. My dad is here, and I hugged him, and I hugged him. You know, he moved when I was 2 years old, so I hugged him so hard. I hugged my dad so tight. It was Dad, it was Santa Claus, it was all of it combined for me because my dad was here. And as a kid, all you ever talk about is your dad. So here I have my dad with me. But after hugging him, I look around and my mom's not there. So I was really bummed out and really confused because I thought maybe this was the day. This was the day that I could see them. But he said, you know what? We're gonna go home. We're gonna go see Mom. We're like, oh yes, awesome. We're gonna go see Mom. This means a lot of things for me. This means I have to drop out of school right now because I'm in Guatemala. I can just focus, you know, and I'm gonna go see Mom, and I'm gonna go to this land called the USA. I mean, I always wanted to be in the US. It is the most attractive country. So I was so excited. And so as we're going through all these borders, you know, we go into Mexico, yay, we're walking around 2 a.m., 4 a.m., everything's fun. People are worried, people are really concerned about their safety. All I can think about is that I'm gonna see my mom soon. I'm just really excited. It's 2 a.m., 4 a.m., people are hiding from authorities. People are worried, people are learning how to speak like they're Mexican so that in case something happens, they're not sent back to their country of origin. I remember there was a Brazilian guy who was so worried about his Spanish. I'm like, I'm gonna see Mom, that's all I care about, that's all I want. So the night that we get to some site and we cross over a border, and it's the US and Mexico border, and I'm thinking, whoa, this is gonna put us near Mom, right? Dad, we're gonna see Mom? And he's like, oh, we gotta go back. I'm like, what happened? He's trying to tell us what happened, but he's really excited. He said, you guys just stepped into US soil. He's so pumped, he can't, you should have seen his face. He's like, you just stepped into America. I don't care. All I want is Mom, and you just brought us back to Mexico, and we want to see Mom. Thankfully, we go into the US, but now we have more borders to cross. We have to cross into the Mexican border, now we have to cross into the American border, from Guatemala to Mexico, and from Mexico to the US, and we get to the States, and just because you stepped into the US doesn't mean your mom is right there. you know, I'm a kid. I'm thinking my mom should be here, right? We're in the U.S. She should be here in the border. No, we have to go through more borders. We have to go through state borders. But my favorite border was the Tennessee-North Carolina border, because that meant that I was closer to mom. Mom is in North Carolina. I'm seeing the signs. It's about to happen. It's about to happen. So we're in this car. I've been writing these letters to mom, and really the letters are, en un día no muy lejano nos vamos a ver, which in English translates, in a day not far away, we will be together forever. And I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. What? My body feels weird. I don't know how to react. I don't know what to say. Is she gonna remember me? Does she look the same? I mean, what's gonna happen? I don't know. And I'm seeing that the signs get closer to Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm like, oh my gosh. So the only thing that kept me a little bit at ease and calm was seeing snow for the first time, because it was winter, and there was snow there. I'm like, whoa, this is snow, it's real. But the time, that sense of mom is, we're gonna see mom, and we get to these apartments, and you know, the moment is coming, and all I can recall is opening the door, and I'm just having one foot out of the car, and literally in less than 3 seconds, I turn. And there it comes, the moment. I see this lady running up to us, doesn't care what she looks like. And she's running so fast, probably the fastest she's ever ran in the last few years. And she's got her arms so wide open. And I can tell you second by second, by that experience, she's running. And she's hugging us. And her words are, oh, mijo. Oh, mijo. Oh, mijo. Which really means, oh, my child. Oh, my child. That's all I remember. It's just like a little chicken just wrapping up. She just had her wings. I mean, there are literally wings in my head. And she's wrapping us up, and she's holding us. And that is by far the longest hug I've ever had in my whole life. And that is my story. So I want you guys to keep something in mind, in light of all the politics and everything you hear. Children do not care about any of that. I was a child once, and I could care less. I had no idea of borders. I just wanted to see my mom. And I know there's a lot of children in our city that's all they want. And there's a lot of parents here that are really depressed because they don't have their children with them. So just something to keep in mind as whenever you see a child, whenever you see a stubborn, or not stubborn, but a child is just misbehaving in this Latino context, because really they've been separated from their parents for so long, they're having to relearn what it's like to be, you know, a family again together. But man, en un día no muy lejano, in a day not far away, that happened to me, and I tell you, man, dreams can come true. So, thank you.
Gracias, Pablo.